Ready to feel the ground rumble and the sky applaud? I'm your rocket guide, noisy, stubborn, and oddly graceful. Today, we'll lift the hood on engines, meet the stages, and laugh at wild test fails. Buckle up. By the end, you'll never look at rockets the same way. The story of our journey to the stars reads like a thrilling duel and a great human experiment rolled into one. In the middle of the 20th century, two superpowers raced not only for flags and glory, but for the ability to place metal and people into orbit. The space race between the USSR and the USA began with metal and radio signals and ended with footprints on another world and a new era of cooperation. Yet its early years were pure competition. Each launch a dramatic broadcast that proved technology, politics, and imagination could accelerate overnight. The very first loud note in that symphony came from the Soviet Union. Sputnik, launched on October 4, 1957, was a small, polished metal sphere fitted with a simple radio transmitter. Its purpose was both practical and symbolic. Made from lightweight alloys and batteries, it sent back a steady beeping into Earth's ionosphere, showing that humans could place an object into orbit and track it. That beep changed everything. Suddenly, orbit was not a dream, but a place we could reach and study. A few years later, the proof that humans could ride a rocket into space arrived in a single breath. Yuri Gagarin, launched by the USSR aboard Vostok 1 on April 12, 1961, became the first person to circle the Earth. He sat inside a small capsule atop a powerful rocket, stepped into history with one orbit, and returned alive. An image of human courage and of engineering meeting daring. Gagarin's flight showed people that space was accessible to flesh and bone, not only metal. The moon landing that so many know as a climax of the race was Apollo 11, an American mission that lifted off with the enormous Saturn V rocket and placed Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins into lunar orbit in July 1969. Armstrong and Aldrin descended to the surface, walked, planted a flag, collected rocks, and sent back words that still echo.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That mission tied together decades of rocket development, navigation, life support, and sheer determination. Why explore? Science, curiosity, and practical needs. In orbit, we study the atmosphere, monitor weather and crops, test how life copes without gravity, and develop materials and communications that make life on Earth better. Rockets themselves follow simple physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Engines push exhaust downward, and the vehicle moves upward. Staging jettisons empty tanks so the remaining rocket is lighter and faster. There are different classes of vehicles. Expendable launchers carry satellites to orbit. Shuttles once ferried crews and cargo up and back in a partially reusable way. And modern reusable boosters now attempt to land and fly again. Cutting costs and changing business models. Space stations are another chapter. The International Space Station, a multinational laboratory, hosts typically a half-dozen people and cost on the order of many tens of billions of dollars to build and operate. An investment in science, diplomacy, and engineering. New commercial and governmental stations are planned for the coming years, with private modules and lunar gateways on the drawing boards, signaling that the era of single-nation programs has given way to mixed commercial and international plans. From a beeping metal ball to humans circling the globe, to walking on the moon and building laboratories in orbit, the story of rockets and rockets' passengers is one of physics made practical and of a species stubbornly bent on reaching farther. We began with sparks and parchment sketches, and we continue with returning boosters and plans for habitats beyond Earth, always asking, what comes next? We've peeked under the fairing and tasted a bit of rocket science. Curious for more? Historic firsts? Why stages drop and how reusability changes everything? Hit follow and bring your questions. Next time we'll watch a launch frame by frame and decode the real magic.